Welcome to another episode, everyone. Let's get right into it. The Epstein files have been released. At least some of them. They claim they released all of them. They have not. But even the files that have been released, President Trump is implicated thousands of times. In fact, his name is mentioned more than anyone else in the files. In fact, President Trump is accused in the Epstein files of raping a 13-year-old girl, as well as Epstein did the same thing to the same 13-year-old girl. There are 3 million pages in the Epstein files, 3 million pages and 2,000 videos in the Epstein files. They have video, 2,000 videos. They also have 180,000 images, pictures, images, still images, 180,000. These people are sick, perverted. Think about the number of that. 20,000 videos. 20,000 videos? The most prolific you-know-what stars can't come anywhere near that. This is Epstein and this is Trump. Let's get into it. You're president of the United States of America.
More than 3 million pages, 2,000 videos, and 180,000 images. CNN teams are carefully sifting through the largest, and what the Justice Department says is the last, batch of Jeffrey Epstein files. It's an enormous trove of documents, and it includes references to some of the richest and most powerful people on the planet. That includes the current president.
Some of the richest and most powerful people on the planet are in the Epstein files. Here they go. Here go some of them. Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Howard Lutnick, former Israeli prime minister, Barack, Elon Musk, Steve Bannon, just to name a few. These are the Epstein files that we're talking about, that these individuals are in. Presidents of the United States of America, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, former Israeli prime minister. These are rich and powerful individuals involved with 3 million pages and 20,000 videos and 180,000 images of underage girls.
A former president, cabinet secretaries, a former prime minister, billionaires, and the list goes on and on and on.
Billionaires. The 1%, the top 1% in the country, the individuals who actually run the country. Yes. They all have blood on their hands. They all have their hands dirty, bloody in these Epstein files with dealing with little girls. Let's continue though. Trump and this 13-year-old girl.
The Justice Department says tonight that its job is done.
We complied with the statute, we complied with the act, and there is no, we did not protect.
No, you have not complied. You never comply. You're still hiding. Still hiding stuff. You're still covering up for Trump.
President Trump, we didn't protect or not protect anybody. I mean, I think that there's a hunger or a thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents.
I should note that just because someone is mentioned in these documents does not mean that they've been accused of wrongdoing or did anything wrong. Many of these claims are unverified or they rely on secondhand information. But these are the key findings our team has uncovered so far, and I should note, millions of pages have come out. We are still digging right now in this hour. Donald Trump's name appears thousands of times in these new documents. In some,
Trump's name appears thousands of times in the documents. Bear in mind, as she keeps emphasizing, they have not finished sipping through the 20,000 videos and 3 million pages. As she said, in this very hour, we're still sifting through this stuff. So this is just what we found so far. However much they sift through so far, they've seen his name thousands of times already.
He's merely mentioned in emails that Jeffrey Epstein sent to other people, but the files also contain a complaint from a woman who accused Trump of raping her in 1994 when she was just 13 years old. According to the FBI document, this accuser, who is identified as Jane Doe, said that Jeffrey Epstein was, quote, angry that Trump was the one to take her virginity and that she was also raped by Jeffrey Epstein.
This is your president. 13-year-old girl. Yes, he hasn't been found guilty, innocent to proven guilty. Trump is. I'm not. My ilk is not. We'll just be guilty in the public's eye already, and in the courtroom. Just the accusation alone is enough to sway public opinion. But of course, in Trump's case, and people like him, you need more evidence. He hasn't been found guilty in a court of law. But the accusations are astounding. A 13-year-old girl made an accusation that President Trump, so that we're clear, whenever she made the accusation, maybe she wasn't 13 when she made the accusation, maybe she was 30. But she says that when she was 13 in 1994, so however old Trump was then, this was 32 years ago. Trump is, 80 years old or something. Trump was, close to 50 in 1994, and she was 13. According to her, Trump abused her at 13, and so did Jeffrey Epstein, and that Trump was upset, or Epstein was upset with Trump. Epstein was angry. Epstein was angry that Trump was the one to take Doe's virginity. They fighting each other. They mad and jealous and hating on each other about who did it first to this little girl. Epstein is mad at Trump because Trump did it first and took her virginity. According to the documents, according to these Epstein files, and again, this is the tip of the iceberg. His name is mentioned thousands of times. This is one incident. And they haven't finished reading all of the documents. We don't know what has actually went down. Billionaires are in here, prime ministers, former presidents, current presidents, rich and powerful people, sick individuals, sick. And if you support them, you're sick too.
The woman had previously launched lawsuits against Trump and dropped them. The last one happened right before the 2016 election. The president has previously denied these allegations. Also included in today's release was a list of sexual assault allegations related to the president compiled by the FBI in August, many of which appear to have come from unverified tips. We don't know why tonight the FBI made this list, and there are more than a dozen allegations that are included in it. But recall what the president has previously said about these documents, about the Jeffrey.
Make sure we all keeping up here. Make sure you're paying attention. The FBI compiled an investigation of documents with Trump in there dozens of times with SA allegations against him. This is separate, different from this 13-year-old girl that we just discovered. This is different than that. Separate from that, the FBI has been compiling information and charges or information against Trump that could possibly lead to charges, should have led to charges, with at least a dozen allegations of SA from different women. This is separate from the Epstein stuff. There's still a lot of stuff to go with that. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Wow.
Epstein files. He said,
"I'm going to find a way to make excuses for him. You MAGAs, you maggots are going to find a way to make an excuse for him because you're the same way deep inside. You're the exact same way. Sick up here, sick in the head. You're the exact same way."
that they are a hoax and that the release of them could ruin people's reputations.
I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. You had Christopher Wray and these characters and Comey before him.
I would say that, these files were made up.
A hoax by the Democrats. Here's what this man just said. The Epstein files are a hoax by the Democrats. What do the Democrats got to do with it? You all up in there, and so are the Democrats. The Democrats in there too. All y'all dirty. All of you are in cahoots together. All of you SA women, all little girls, all of you are sick in the head. Democrats and Republicans. All of y'all are the same. You're not fooling me.
By Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it.
Just to be clear, Christopher Wray was the president's pick for FBI director that he put into that job. This also comes as we're learning for the first time about Jeffrey Epstein's contact with
him,
Elon
Mr.
Musk.
President. You
may remember
him.
Elon Musk dropped what he described as a really big bomb last year. He said Trump was in the Epstein files, and that was the real reason that they had not been made public.
Let's look at this. Time to drop the really big bomb. This is Elon Musk on Twitter. His boy turned on him June 5th, 2025 at he sent it at Trump. Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DTJ, which is Donald J. Trump. June 25th, 2025, his guy, Elon Musk, sent out this tweet. Time to drop the really big bomb. Time to drop the big bomb, people. This is his guy, who's also in the files, by the way. He ought to know, at real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. That's the real reason they have not been made public. It's because Trump is in them. Have a nice day, DTJ. Apparently, this is at a time when they were beefing and going back and forth with each other. And Elon starts exposing the truth because he is in there. His name is mentioned thousands of times. The files have just been released. His name is mentioned thousands of times in there. Thousands.
Well, it turns out, based on what we saw today, Musk is also in Epstein files. Emails show that he tried coordinating multiple visits to Jeffrey Epstein's private island. In one from 2013, Elon Musk asked Jeffrey Epstein, when should we head to your island? The year before, he said, what day night would be the wildest party on your island? Now, this is after Musk claimed, in all caps, I should note, last year that, quote, Epstein tried to get me to go to his island, and I refused. Musk's representative.
Wow. Your boy Musk, huh? Can't trust none of these people. I mean, they lie and lie and lie and lie like it's nothing. The man just put out a tweet last year. First of all, clowning Trump for being in the Epstein files, saying that this is why they have not been made public, only to find out he's in them as well. Didn't think we'd find that out, huh, Elon? Didn't think we would find that out. Wow.
Did not immediately respond to CNN's request for comment for explanation for those emails and that contact. And speaking of distancing and denials, recall what President Trump's Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said just last year about a 2005 encounter that he had with Epstein at his Manhattan townhouse.
I mean, Elon says he asked me to come to the island and I refused. He put refused in capitals, in all caps. I refused. And then we just find out with the Epstein file release that no, Elon, he did not ask you to come and you refused. In fact, you were begging him to come to the island on multiple occasions. I want to talk about Michael Jackson's Netherlands. What about this island, man? What's going on this thing? It's all about to come out.
I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he gets weirdly close to me. Ooh. And he says, and the right kind of massage. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
Okay, so that was 2005. The files released today showed that Howard Lutnick tried to meet or call with Epstein several times after 2005, much longer after. A 2011 email to Jeffrey Epstein from his assistant.
Wow. These people they're sick. They're unbelievable, bro. This is outrageous. Howard Lutnick. The man just sat there and said, I never want to be in a room with this disgusting person. I told my wife that night we discussed it, never want to be in a room with this disgusting person anymore. Even be in a room with him. This person is sick. Talking about Epstein. This is Howard Lutnick. You just saw the clip. Only to find out when the Epstein files are released that after this video in 2005, where he declared he would never be in a room, be caught dead with this individual again. He's so sick. After this, he made many attempts. He reached, just like Elon Musk, reached out to Epstein, then lied and said, no, this dude is lying. In this video, no, this dude is distasteful, disgraceful, he's sick, he's filthy. I can't be in a room with him no more. The rest of my life, I don't even want to be in a room with him. Only to find out, after you said all of that nonsense, lying, you made many attempts to be back in a room with Epstein. You made many attempts. These people will lie. He sat right there in this little suit like he had a moral compass, like he was exhibiting morality and ethics. Stood there, I told me and my wife we would never, can't be in a room with this guy again. Do I need to play it again? Maybe I should play it again. Had me convinced. Only to find out in the Epstein, these dudes, they will lie to your face. Elon Musk just put out the email. He tried to get me on the island plenty of times, but I refused. You refused? You were beseeching and imploring him to get on that island. Just like Howard Lutnick. But when we release a statement to the public, Twitter and all this, saying something totally different. And these MAGA maggots will believe them. Now the truth is coming out. Hide your children.
Howard Lutnick will come see you at 5 p.m. That same year, the heading of an alarm message reads, Drinks with Howard Lutnick. And Lutnick also emailed Jeffrey Epstein's assistant in 2015, inviting Epstein to a Democratic fundraiser for Hillary Clinton that he was hosting. Asked for comment on these emails and the correspondence between the two, a spokesperson for the Commerce Department told CNN Secretary Lutnick had limited interactions with Mr. Epstein in the presence of his wife and has never been accused of wrongdoing.
Some of the victims of Epstein have expressed frustration with the entire process. I want to give you the opportunity to speak directly to them. Well, I don't know what you're speaking to. I mean, if there's frustration with, quote, the entire process, same here. I mean, you have a situation where for many, many years, nobody even breathed a word about Jeffrey Epstein, and then all of a sudden it was all anybody would talk about. Listen, victims of Mr. Epstein.
So they're talking about the fact that you did not release the files, that you've been protecting these abusers. You're the DOJ. You're not supposed to have a dog in the fight. You're supposed to be neutral. No one talked about Jeffrey Epstein, and all of a sudden, so whenever they start talking about him, whenever they came forward, oh man, these people are unbelievable.
Have gone through unspeakable pain, and there's nobody that should say anything differently. I hope that the work that the men and women within this department have done over the past 2 months hopefully is able to bring closure.
And tonight we are hearing directly from Jeffrey Epstein's survivors who are angry, some of them frustrated that their names showed up unredacted in the files that came out today, despite what we heard from the Justice Department about a pledge to prioritize their privacy. More than a dozen of the survivors issued a new joint statement. It reads in part, "This latest release of Jeffrey Epstein files is being sold as transparency, but what it actually does is expose survivors. Once again, survivors are having their names and identifying information exposed, while the men who abused us remain hidden and protected. That is outrageous. As survivors, we should never be the ones named, scrutinized, and re-traumatized, while Epstein's enablers continue to benefit from secrecy. This is a betrayal of the very people this process is supposed to serve." One of the Epstein survivors who signed that statement is Jess Michaels, who says she was sexually assaulted by Jeffrey Epstein when she was 22 years old. And Jess joins me now. And thank you for being here on a day like today. We've spoken with many of the survivors on this show before, and I know it's not an easy conversation to have. So I really do appreciate you joining us. When you heard the Deputy Attorney General today talking about closure, is that what you feel after this release?
Firstly, thank you so much, Caitlin.
I can say she's gonna say no. She doesn't feel any closure. Man, what are these people are sick, man.
Not only for having me on, but for continually having Epstein survivors on so that our voices are heard. There is not a single bit of closure today. I actually brought a little show and tell for you, Caitlin. You know how I heard you speaking with the attorney before this about the 302s. And this is what the only 302 that
Sick MAGA maggots. This is really upsetting me that she have closure today, that abuse this woman, that abuse all these children, man, and been hiding it. These sick people been hiding it all in the Congress, refusing to release the files, protecting these PDF files, protecting them. And if you people have children and you support these individuals, you're sick. They need to come take a look at your kids. Make sure that they're safe. Because they're not safe in your custody. You're sick. You voted for Trump. You still support Trump after hearing this. You have a 13-year-old, 12-year-old, 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old. You're sick. And you need to be investigated yourself. Yeah, for sure.
that could be found so far in the files by someone that was combing the files for hours. It was 7 pages and 4 of them looked like this. So we know that the victim's name is here, right? And that's appropriately redacted. So what is all of this? So there's no way for me to say to you that there's closure here. This is the exact opposite of transparency.
I mean, it must be so frustrating for you to look at that and to see just completely blacked out in the entire page.
And then we've seen pages where.
So that's all the people's names that done abuse these children. They got all of their names blacked out, but got the victims' names on there where you can see them. This is a cover-up. This is a sick situation. These are the same people that will arrest you, but they're covering up this abuse from the top to the bottom. They have no compunction. Anyone who subscribes to this is a sick individual. I'm convinced of that.
They're blacked out, and the only thing not blacked out was a survivor's name. It is such incompetence. It is sloppy. I mean, if any one of
No, it's not incompetence. They know exactly what they're doing. They did it on purpose. They want to intimidate the victims. They want to silence the victims. They've been trying to silence them. This is deliberate. It's not some accident. They know exactly what they're doing. Sick individuals. Breaking news. Epstein files released. Trump in there thousands of times. 3 million pages. 20,000 videos. 20,000 videos of illicit stuff with underage sick individuals. 180,000 images. Who's sitting there taking all of these pictures and these recording all these videos? 20,000. This is your president. Sick. Been exposed now.
us did our jobs the way the DOJ did this job, we wouldn't be working humans. We would lose our job. We would lose our place in a company because this particular job has been so egregiously done, horrifically done.
If you had been at that press conference today at the Justice Department, what do you think you would have asked?
I would have asked, then what's this? What is missing from this page? Because one of the things that he said was about the fact that there's no list of men, there's no treasure trove of men. Then what is this? What is missing here? This is not a survivor's name. There's no survivor's name that is this long. So what I'd like to ask any of them in the Department of Justice is, what is this? This is a victim statement. The only thing that was supposed to be redacted was her name. So this is clearly protecting someone, something.
Because
many
what would
things.
be in there would be theoretically, and what we've seen from other 302s is that's when they interview someone who has filed a complaint, and that's their account of what happened to them.
Exactly. And so to stand on that podium and say, well, there's no names here, and to hear for months now, there's nothing in this, there's no reason, but then there should be no reason to have a black page. If there's nothing there, then what are you redacting? That's what I would have said to him.
Jess Michaels, I'm sorry. I really am, because I'm sure it's frustrating, incredibly frustrating. I don't even know if that puts it even sums up the feeling.
Yeah.
But I am grateful to you that you're willing to come on and share that and let people know how you feel about what came out today.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, and I'm sorry too, Jess Michaels. Victim of Epstein. Okay, we're going to continue to cover this. We're going to see who's all in here and what's going on. Because those were just a few names. Israeli Prime Minister Donald J. Trump, Bill Clinton, Elon Musk, and Howard Lutnick, etc. These lying, filthy pigs, sit here and say, put out these tweets that they refused to go to the island. They were prompted and asked by Epstein multiple times to come to the island, and they refused in all capitals. The whole time we come to find out with the Epstein file releases that you did not refuse to go. You were begging to go. Howard Lutnick puts out this nonsense about how he don't want to even step foot in the room with Epstein because he's a disgusting human being, only coming to find out, with the Epstein file releases that are released, that's a bunch of cockamamie nonsense. That he's a sick individual like the rest of them. He summoned and solicited Epstein to get back on the island after he said all of that stuff. These people are online. They're full of it. There you have it, folks. A 13-year-old girl said that Donald J. Trump in 1994 did the unthinkable to her against her will. And so did Jeffrey Epstein, and Epstein was upset that Trump did it first. This is your president, sick individual. It's made up. They're lying. This is the Democrats made all this up. The Democrats are in there too. Bill Clinton, former Democratic president, he's in there. He's in the files. They're all sick. We don't know we don't know what else is about to come out with these files. And who else are in these files? Who knows? 3 million pages, 20,000 videos, 180,000 images. Still a lot to uncover and unpack with this stuff, and they're on top of it. We're going to find out. Hell, I'm going to see if I can get my hands on the Epstein files and reveal them here. Subscribe to the channel, everyone. Let me know what you think in the comments. Trump, exposed in the Epstein files. His name is mentioned, as we just heard, thousands of times. He is accused of assaulting S.A., a 13-year-old girl, back in 1994. So is Jeffrey Epstein. Also, we heard that the FBI has compiled evidence against Trump, has spoken with victims, unverified victims, I believe she said, over a dozen, accused of SA. With these women, everybody's just lying on Trump, and we still don't know what's going on with the Epstein files really as of yet. They're still sifting through everything. Who knows what else is about to come out and who is actually on this list. As you can see, it's all redacted. They got it blacked out. They were able to discover some people. They're uncovering some stuff, but they're still trying to conceal who was all involved and what was all involved. But people are on top of it because they want to get to the bottom of it. We all do. Wow. Trump, Elon Musk, Howard Lutnick, Bill Clinton. Sick individuals. Yeah, they're guilty as far as I'm concerned already. It's just my opinion. For sure. Stay safe, stay free, power to the people.